should ask Jonathan this yesterday, but I'll ask you. What are you guys doing to prepare for the heat during practices?
Yeah, I think it's important. I think any week, and especially early in the season, you're going to play in expecting 100-degree weather. Our nutritionists, strength coaches, everybody's really been preaching hydration early in the week, and getting an early start. And that doesn't just kind of start Friday when we get down there. It's just preparing yourself all week and getting yourself ready to roll.
Is there anything in particular? Are they carrying more jugs of water around, or anything like that? Or
yeah, they've got a plan with our nutritionist. A little bit more salt in the diet, and I don't know. I'm not into all the specifics of it, but I know that it's definitely been addressed and been emphasized in really in all areas of the program.
You guys got a little heat this week, but practicing that stuff really won't really change things at all.
We in fall camp down on that field turf, it gets pretty warm, and it's just something. It is what it is.
Turnovers and penalties, I assume, were two of the main takeaways that you wanted to clean up after that game.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it bit us in the first scrimmage during fall camp. Some stuff where you're just shooting yourself in the foot with some penalties, and then really disappointing in the way that we took care of the football. Some poor decisions at quarterback, and then just some kind of careless with the way that we were handling the ball at times. And so that's something that we've really got to clean up, and will be emphasized all week this week in practice.
How do you fix the penalties? Is it just reps, or is there other things you can do?
I think there's just some reinforcement. If guys are not getting it in practice, with a little bit of some punishment stuff. But I think it's reps, and it just comes down to focus. It's something that it's not like we just do some of those hard counts some of the time. That's part of our offense, and mixing that in, and our guys have got to focus in, and they know that'll end up killing you, and it killed us in multiple drives on Saturday.
It's really been a foundation of your program to really take care of the ball. You guys have really been up there in terms of fewest takeaways. I imagine, wasn't yesterday that a big topic of conversation, the sloppiness and carelessness yesterday? How do you fix that one?
Yeah, no, I mean, Sunday we get back in the office and met as an offense, and some of the first thing that we address. It's one of the first things that we talk about when we get together as an offensive unit in fall camp and spring football. Is like, hey guys, taking care of the football, and turnover ratio is the number one stat that dictates wins at all levels of football. And so our guys know the importance of it, and they've got to kind of take pride in the drills and have focus during the week to get that stuff figured out, because we're not going to win many games the rest of the year. You turn the ball over 3 times. I mean, luckily our defense was able to create a number more, but we've got to do a better job for sure.
What have you seen out of Fresno State defensively?
I think a veteran group, again, kind of like Boise, a lot of guys that have played a lot of ball. The number 32 in the secondary really stands out to me. He's played a lot. I mean, I think he's a smart player. Really shows up on the film a ton. Good tackler in space, and just seems like he has kind of a great command of what they're asking him to do defensively. And then up front, I feel like those guys get up the field, aggressive, physical. That stuff showed up on the tape in game 1. To me, they were constantly in the backfield creating pressure on the quarterback. 99, I think, is a heck of a player, and has had a lot of success for them and creating a lot of negative plays. We've got our hands full, and then going on the road, I think it'll be something for us. It's a tough place to play on the road, and I'm sure they'll be fired up, and it'll be a good challenge for us.
When you unlock
like you do, does that give you more confidence? When things crop up that need to be improved, that they'll get cleaned up?
Yeah, and I think that's something we've said from our group, is pride ourselves on being a player-led unit, and the guys taking pride. And they knew on Sunday. I didn't have to say anything in the offensive unit meeting. Those guys all knew, and were pretty disappointed. With the performance at times, it just didn't feel as consistent enough. And so those guys hold themselves to a high standard, and they know what the standard is, around here. And so it was good to hear, those guys voicing that on the Sunday practice, and then again today.
What did you see out of Chance Saturday that you didn't see a year ago?
I was pleased we had some deep balls, some balls down the field opportunities, and he was able to hit and connect on some of those. And a year ago, I know there was some frustrations because we'd have some guys behind the defense, and we just weren't able to make them to hit those consistently. So that was really, really good to see. And then I thought, really with the exception of just a couple of those the turnovers, I thought the decision making was pretty spot on. He was seeing the things that they were giving him, and the ball was going to the right spot, and he was making the right checks at the line of scrimmage for us, and just kind of handled himself out there. I thought more mature, I guess, than he did a year ago.
Right.
I'm sure you'd love to play mistake-free and no takeaways and all that stuff. But what does it say about where this program is right now that you can have those mistakes, not rely on that, but have those mistakes and still come out with a performance like you guys did and end up winning this game?
Yeah, no, I mean it's nice. I think it just speaks to the defense, and special teams. I think those guys, both of those units, anytime you create 5 turnovers and we had some awesome field position, it's just nice knowing sometimes you go 3 and out that you don't have to score and be perfect every time. And I think it speaks to the kind of the depth and experience that we've got in other areas of the program. And it's definitely a big deal.
Was there one of those deep balls that chanced through that particularly told you that you sort of turned the corner in that respect?
I mean,
I was almost thinking the first throw he threw to Harrison, that was a great throw. It just he didn't.
No, the first one was a big throw on a third down and short situation with some pressure around him early in the game when you kind of got some adrenaline going, and that was great to see him drop that thing in there. And then I think the one coming out of our own end zone, anytime you're just you're taking a drop and you're in your own end zone, I think that stuff's tough sometimes. But he stood in there and knew he was going to take a little bit of a shot, and was able to put it on the money to Ant. So that was both of them. Just gives you more confidence to call more of it. Yeah.
How'd you feel like the running back rotation shook out in game 1?
It was good. I think in the first game we wanted to see multiple guys, and we got Fenwick going a little bit. I think him and Damian finished with maybe the same amount of carries. We wanted to see both those guys, and then get Trey Lowe in there. And Coach Stewart does a nice job of just kind of rotating them. And then I think as the season goes on, and we get to where we're getting the run game rolling, then you kind of roll with a hot hand. Somebody gets going, you might just stick with them.
When you execute,
like for you, I know you've had scrimmages here, but calling a game in this renovated Research Stadium, what was it like for you?
Oh, the box is quite a bit lower. It's pretty. You're just right above the sideline, so it's not a great view, but it is something for us that we did in scrimmages, and it is kind of is what it is, and used to it. And at least we've gone through it a couple different times. I think people coming in here can throw you off because you just don't have as good a vision up there. But it was fun to see the stadium packed. There was some juice, and it was awesome that we were able to get some explosive plays early in the game to get the crowd into it.
What was your overall assessment of how you guys ran the ball Saturday?
Not good enough at all. I think me and all the backs believe that we ran pretty average. It was not by our standards by any means, so we're looking to improve that this week.
Did it feel at all a little bit like Purdue last year, where it just kind of didn't really get? It was better, obviously, but you just didn't really hit it all like you'd been doing.
Yeah, it didn't feel like Purdue, but when you look at the statistics, it definitely looked like Purdue as far as the yardage or whatever. But I think they had an emphasis on stopping us in the run game too, so that opened up a lot of our receivers. So it worked in our favor as an offense.
I was going to say, how much of that running game, the struggles at least that you had, was because they were loading the box and sending 9 guys at you?
Yeah, they were loading the box pretty well, but honestly, I think we still could have, fought for a couple extra more yards. Obviously, we're not going to try to put the ball in jeopardy like I did, but I think, when they did load the box, we were able to capitalize off that, like you said.
Just individually, on a game-to-game basis, what are the sort of things that you're looking at to kind of judge, how you did?
I have a really high standard for myself, so statistically and just how I feel, if I feel like I did a good game, I'll go back and check statistics, and then I'll go check the game film, and then that's when I'll finally decide. So probably about like a 3-day process. So it honestly takes a lot for my standards to feel like I had a good game. I just want to fire on all cylinders.
How do you think it's going to be like playing in that heat over there, Fresno?
I'm from Florida, so it's not really anything for me. I think it's a little more drier. I'm used to a little more humidity, so we'll see. I'm ready for the challenge, though.
How much pride are you guys taking in doing better on the road this season? And then how has that been addressed, I guess, throughout camp and into this point of the season so far?
Not so much camp, but especially this week. I was just telling a couple of my teammates that we haven't won a home game since probably USC, and that's about to change. So I just want to make sure that our team knows that, obviously, which they do. Coach Smith emphasized that in the team meeting. So I think our team is ready to take control of this this away game.
Your first start, how'd you feel? I feel like you played.
Definitely felt nervous in the first series or what, but after a couple of hits, you get into the groove, and it's just like practice. So yeah.
The offensive line didn't allow a sack on Saturday, and obviously the passing game was kind of firing on all cylinders, particularly with the deep ball. What was your assessment of how you guys played in helping that passing game get to where it was?
I think we did all right on the pass. We still got a lot to work to clean up. I think our run game, we still got to work on our run game so far. I think we did all right, but we still got a lot to clean up. So.
As an O-line, what sort of things are you looking at on the game film to kind of judge how you guys did as a group?
Just being assignment perfect. Working your technique and being able to finish your guy. To the whistle.
That's going to be a hostile environment going in there on Saturday. From a communication perspective, what are those conversations like heading into a road game to make sure you guys are kind of all in sync with each other there?
We're just working with a loud speaker at practice. So just being ready for a loud crowd. We know Fresno got a loud stadium over there, good crowd. So we'll be ready.
How did Jim react to all the penalties yesterday when you guys met?
Definitely not his favorite kind of thing. So. But just got to be able to move our feet. These calls just can't happen in a good game. So I think as long as we clean those up, we'll be fine.
How do you rep that in practice? Is there something that you work on, or is it just locking down that mentality of I've got to play more, I got to play better, more perfect ball?
Yeah, just playing better. Technique wise, it's all technique. So if you don't got techniques, then holding, all that, it'll come into play. So just working your technique.
What do you know about that Fresno State defense?
I think they're a hard-working D-line. I respect them. They got some returners, and I think they'll be a good D-line to go up against, and it's a little different than Boise, so I think it's a good match.